Hi there, and welcome to this drawing tutorial where I'm going to capture a water lily. And the water lilies are absolutely magnificent and they are very much fun to draw. What I do first is I look up the little petals, and I'm not making an exact copy. I just want to create the feel of the water lily that is on the left side in our reference picture. Now there's a lot more going on because the water lily is sitting there underwater and there are some leaves surrounding it, but there is also a reflection in the water and there are also wrinkles in the water. So maybe a little frog just dived in or somebody threw in a pebble, but it is lovely to also draw the surrounding. So the water is there, the floating leaves are there, and all those wrinkles and the actual reflection of this water lily in the water. Now for this sketch, I'm simply using the Ami newsprint paper. It's just a sketch. And I'm also using a charcoal pencil. And the charcoal pencil is ideal for sketching and getting acquainted with the subject you want to draw, or later on maybe you want to paint it. Well, that's why I'm using the charcoal. And on my Patreon page you can find 100 or more videos in real time should you want to join me there. Now what I do next is I look for the darkest shadows, of course. And on the right side of the water lily there is a very dark piece of water, and also on the left bottom, and you can see a lot of wrinkles in the water, and I simply draw that over the reflected flower. The actual reflected flower is of a darker shade than the flower which is the actual flower. So I really try to keep notice of that. And on the right side there is a dark area which is almost pitch black, and I simply use different kinds of layer of charcoal. I put in the charcoal pigments layer by layer, so that I can keep that soft feel of the water reflection. Now there's a lot going on, as you can see. There are wrinkles here that I really want to show in this little sketch. And I also later on want to add a little bit of color just as a demonstration. And I have some tips for you how to do that. Now charcoal and pastel pencils are of course brother and sister, but the darkness of the charcoal pigments can be too dark, but I will show you how to cope with that. Now this is a brown crayon, it's also pastel, and what I do next is I put in a thin layer of the dark brown covering all of my drawing. Then I take a dry paper cloth and I simply start to push in the pigments into my sketching paper. Then I take out my pencil eraser. So this is actually an eraser in the shape of a pencil, and you can just sharpen it with a pencil sharpener. And I'm simply start to erase those areas which are brightest. Now the effect of this is very painterly. So note again, I'm not having a pastel pencil or something in my hand here. I am using an eraser. And I can simply erase those areas that I've rubbed in with the paper cloth. I also use it on the leaves, I use it on the petals of the flowers, but I also use this pencil eraser on the wrinkles in the water. And in this way, I just love this way an effect of using rubbed in pigments and the eraser to get that painterly feel. And I also am sure that once the pigments are really deep into the paper, that I can also cover it later on with a little bit of my pastel pencils, for instance. Now here they are, as promised, and I have a nice range of colors, and I'm just going to put some of the pastel pigments in here for you to demonstrate. So I'm not going to cover the whole drawing, if you want, just showing you how to easily get a little bit of color into your charcoal drawing. Now, as you can see, this is the white pastel pencil, and this white pastel pencil is even whiter than the actual color of the paper. But what you can also do is use a little bit of a very light pink, and in that way you get the softness of the petals into your drawing, and you keep getting that painterly effect. So that is really nice if you want to create a very soft feel with your drawings. And I use it in all kinds of ways, also with portraits or animal portraits and so on, or landscapes if you want. Now here you can also build up a little bit of the darks and the lights by shifting from very light pink to a darker pink, and then an even darker pink. And in that way you get that really nice effect, which is actually quite realistic. And once you add a little bit of yellow, then you draw in the sun. And I love it when it's a sunny day and the sun reflects into the whiteness of the little petals. And it's also a nice combination with the pink. Now, should you have areas of which you think, well, they cut a little bit too light from rubbing with the paper cloth, then you can just pick up your charcoal pencil again and put in extra layers of the dark charcoal. And in that way you get that 3D feel back into the water and lift the flower a little bit. And that's the nice thing about drawing with charcoal. You can just go over it and over it again and again and again, just looking for the different kinds of gray tones or gray values. And of course you can put over it again a lot of colors if you want, and brighten up your charcoal drawing. So those are my tips, and would you like to see more of it in real time, you can visit me on my Patreon page. There are more than 100 videos there. But of course, I also would like to see you again in one of my other tutorials here on the YouTube. Thank you for watching. Take care.